some point in the future, the idea of the NHS, the way we understand it today, may be a distant memory. I decided, therefore, that it was important that I find out as much as I could about methods of healing, methods of self-healing, and to see whether I could incorporate some of these things into my life. And maybe even start to accumulate the equipment and the skills and the techniques that I would need to try and provide myself with health in the future. I have a history of chronic fatigue syndrome, candida, duodenal ulceration, I have a bad case of eczema, and I've also got guilt syndrome in the liver at the moment. That's just my current state of affairs. So obviously the imperative on my side of things is to try and work out what is the best method for anyone to try and get better from any condition is being essentially on my mind. My research has taken me to a number of different denominations, you might say, of healing technology from different forms of healing practitioners. They have all managed to generate a great quantity of success, which means the very high percentage of the people who were treated were actually properly either completely in remission or cured, even from diseases such as cancer. So I thought this was something worthwhile looking at. So I'm going to discuss with you a few different perspectives on self-healing and why I think some of the ideas are interesting and why I think some of the ideas aren't quite so interesting. And if I've got enough time, I will tell you a little scary story about something that happened to me during my own exploration of self-healing techniques, because I'm experimenting on myself all the time. Let's start from the top. Raise your hands if you've heard of a lady called Hulda Clark. Yes, well, we've got one possible one over there at the back. Okay? Hulda Clark is widely considered to be a complete kook, a lunatic, an eccentric. Alright? But on the other hand, she's a therapist who has managed to heal at least 80% of all the people who consulted her at her practice. Now, her book, which is called The Cure for All Diseases, has some very interesting ideas. She starts out with the presupposition that all disease, and that means all disease, is caused by two key factors. One of which she calls pollution, or essentially what we might call toxicity, and the other one was parasites. And I thought to myself, that's a bit strange. Recoil at the idea of human beings in the 21st century, when we have Dettol, steam cleaners and pasteurized food, having parasites. But on the other hand, an interesting idea. Her methods of diagnosis was incredibly unorthodox. There was this device she called a synchronometer. The very first one was created by her son from an electronic projects kit, so I understand. And it had a metal plate on it upon which samples would be placed. The patient would then have a couple of wires attached to them, and a current would be passed through the patient. If there was some kind of resonance between the sample that was placed on the plate and something in the patient, the idea is the box would make a little noise. It wasn't until later in Hulda Clark's career that she admitted that this was a generalization, that there was a connection between parasites and disease. And with the passage of time, some of the ideas of parasites and humans have essentially been more or less debunked. But I'd say more or less at this present point in time, not necessarily completely. What other methods did she use? She used enemas, mainly filtered water enemas, as well as the coffee enema. What was the purpose of the coffee enema? It was a primitive method of dialysis of the human body, which can be done at home. Used organic filtered coffee, placed into an enema bag with 500 milliliters of water, passed into the rectum, held for a certain period of time so that the blood from the whole body could pass around the coffee about 5 times and then expelled. The theory behind this was that that's directly upon the liver via one particular nerve system, and the liver would then detoxify. Quite interesting, but also pretty eccentric. Or so it would seem if that's the first time we've read that particular form of information. She also treated people with diet and nutrition, and she reached very deeply into the research about what particular nutrients and phytonutrients were present in foods and how they could possibly have an effect upon the body. So what was it that cured her patients? Was it the removal of toxicity from the environment, making sure the tumble dryer would be vented outside rather than inside to reduce the risk of asbestos from the dry bulb getting into the lungs of the patient and thus making their cancer worse? as well as purification of the food, purification of the water, detoxification of the body? Or was it a tiny little electronic device you called a zapper, which would pass a 9-volt square wave high-frequency oscillation through the human body? The zapper has been pretty much conclusively debunked, apart from possibly as a form of antioxidant using electrical means. Very interesting points of view, some of which is possibly useful, some of which we can probably discredit just a little. That's the first method. The second method I will talk about comes from Max Gerson. Max Gerson is a Jew who escaped the Holocaust and set up practice. He suffered from intense migraines, and he wanted to cure himself of migraines. And he started experimenting with his diet, with the food he was eating, how he was preparing his food. And after a while, he came across a formula which seemed to work. And that would involve juicing, that would involve a certain quantity of cooked food, a certain quantity of raw food, researching very carefully into what particular ingredients or chemical ingredients in the foods could be doing them some good or could be doing them some harm. The same diet he then recommended to a few other people who had migraines, who just so happened to have a few other diseases on the side. They didn't just get cured of their migraines, they got cured of their other diseases too, including a rather nasty skin condition called lupus. Max Gerson got excited by this and started to research it even more, research the whole idea of diet, nutrition, and how food could be used for healing. And from that came the Gerson therapy, which is a very difficult program to perform at home. There's a book called The Gerson Therapy, written by Charlotte Gerson, who is Max Gerson's wife, who is still alive at 90, still working, is still on the public speaking circuit. And she speaks about the use of juicing, as well as, funnily enough, the use of the enema and the coffee enema as a means of detoxifying the body because of its operation upon the liver. We have a correlation there. Detoxification. Charlotte Gerson actually said that she believes there's only 2 causes to diseases, one of which is malnutrition, and the other one is toxicity. Within the book, The Gerson Therapy, by Charlotte Gerson, there is a mention of something else as well, which I thought was rather curious, that some diseases could possibly be caused by parasites in humans. It wasn't really gone into in great detail because the Gerson therapy is about feeding yourself. You have a porridge in the morning. You have 13 glasses of juice throughout the day, one taken every hour, 8 ounces of fluid in the juice, which you freshly juice each time. There's also a special soup, and of course baked potatoes, all organic stuff. But the correlation is there. Detoxification, nutrifying the body, and finding ways of allowing the natural healing process to operate. Now, the third method I'm going to talk about is that which was popularized by Marcus Rothkranz. Marcus Rothkranz is a movie maker, fascinating guy. He threw his entire life away, took off all his clothes and walked into the desert, naked. And he really did spend 40 days in the desert, fasting, eating any plants he could find, and living with the animals. From that, he developed his theories about raw vegan healing. The raw vegan process is not just a question of eating raw vegan foods, fruits, nuts, seeds, and vegetables and sprouts. There's an entire healing process associated with it, which focuses mainly on the power of the fast. And you spend time not taking any food into your body, and therefore giving your associate digestive system, your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your adrenal glands a chance to rest and to repair. The immune system then starts working upon the body. Fasting is an interesting thing to experiment with, and I've fasted for up to 6 days so far, and I'm planning at some point of doing a longer term fast. Marcus Rothkranz's ideas focus on the idea that raw food does not feed parasites, but cooked food does. This was the distinction, and the irony is, of course, that there's no parasites in cooked food, but there's plenty of parasite eggs in raw food. He also believed in the idea that once or twice a year it worked while doing parasite cleanses. Now, before I even come across all this weird and wonderful stuff about healing, I had no belief that it was even remotely possible that any human being could ever have a parasite inside us. I have a steam cleaner, for crying out loud, saying, how can I have parasites in my body? Anyway, time happened a while ago. The cat got worms. I wanted to protect myself, so I thought, why don't I try one of these various healing processes, these parasite cleansers? And I took a tincture, as well as something called food-grade diatomaceous, which is reported to shred parasites inside the human body. And this is the nightmare story. I followed the procedure very thoroughly. Within 2 weeks, I had a strange sensation in my digestive system. Something that felt like it was about 8 inches in length, like a snake, thrashing and biting my body. I had something in my eye also thrashing. It exploded and covered my eye with blackness. Yeah, I had parasites. That was a long time ago now. And I had since done many parasite cleanses. And so my body's about as clean as it can probably get. And I carry on working with a whole foods vegan diet to try and keep my system nice and clean. Because I'm aware that this is something that we probably all have inside us in various different quantities and may be contributing to some of our health benefits. The purposes of me doing this speech today was to at least give you a primer